In 3 years into my 5-year term, I decided to resign from my ambassadorship to return home because I thought, of course, it's very important to be ambassador. It's very important the things you can do for your country. But I said, I really want to be with the people because there is nothing more important than the togetherness. We are in this together, building that trust that my purpose is to serve and give back, that I'm not seeking comfort, I'm not seeking resources or privileges. I am there to serve and to be with them. So I left my ambassadorship and returned back home to be with the people, to continue serving my little community.
Welcome to the Kindness Factor podcast, sharing life-changing personal stories of the transformational impact of deep kindness. Hosted by
Dr. Elia, the happiness doctor.
And Randy McNeely, Captain Kindman. Good morning, my friends. Welcome to another episode of the Kindness Factor podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Randy McNeely, Captain Kindman. On this podcast, we share transformative stories of kindness, because kindness delivers the love that reaches hearts and changes lives. And we really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. And just as a quick reminder, it's a big help for us to be able to get great guests and expand our kindness reach across the globe. If you'll take the time to like and subscribe to this channel if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, if you'll take just a minute to stop by and leave us a review or even give us love through some stars. Thank you so much again for joining us today, and we look forward to introducing you to our next amazing guest. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to another episode of the Kindness Factor podcast. I'm Randy McNeely, your co-host, Captain Kindman. I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Dr. Elia Gourgouris, who is the happiness doctor, and he's coming to us from his happy place in Greece. And today we're totally honored to have the wonderful opportunity to interview an amazing man. We'd like to introduce you to Mr. the Honorable, I should say, Yeah Samake. I'm going to give just a very brief introduction, and I'm going to let him introduce himself because he can do a much better job of it than I can. I'll say this. He's a humanitarian. He's the executive director for an amazing organization called Empower Mali. He has done a plethora of things to help lift, build, strengthen, and uplift the people of Mali, including as the mayor of Ouagadougou, as a presidential candidate, and as a ambassador to 10 different countries, appointed by the president of Mali, including India and golly, I don't remember there's a whole list of them. But more importantly, the most important thing I can tell you about this good man is he has a heart the size of Mali that is filled with love. He loves his people. He loves other people. He loves in general. He loves everyone around him, and he exudes that wonderful love. You cannot meet or talk with Yeah Samake without coming away like you've just conversed with a friend. Yeah, thank you for taking the time to be with us today.
Randy, it's a pleasure to be with you. And truly, you are an inspiration yourself. You are encouraging, promoting, and inspiring more and more people to be kind. Just a little bit of kindness a day, a little bit of kindness in our life. Truly, you're making this world a better place. So I thank you for inviting me here on this show and to talk about your favorite topic, kindness. I'm glad to join you.
Good luck with everything that you're doing. I know you have some big plans coming up. There's a lot of support for you and a lot of love for you. So, because I think people realize your heart is in the right place. You're not about power. You're about love. You're about improving people's lives and the Malian people. So, we wish you all the best.
Why don't
I
you
thank you. I thank you.
Yeah, would you be willing to share just briefly, like in a minute or two, give a summary of who you are, what has brought you to right? And okay, I need to say this. Ye is currently running for president of the country of Mali. Ye, will you give us a brief introduction to yourself and why you're doing what you're doing?
Well, it's a privilege to talk to you and to your audience. I am Nyankoro Yeah Samake from Mali, West Africa, born in Welesebugu, Mali, one of the poorest uh, region of one of the poorest countries on earth. So it's a miracle that I am doing what I do, coming from a very modest family. Um, you said it to begin with. I love people, and I have been really inspired by a great man who really had an incredible vision to send all of his 23 children to school, including myself. And the opportunities I have today are the result of his vision of combating and breaking the cycle of poverty from our long line of family heritage. So clearly, my life is a miracle. And it is my purpose to give back, to express gratitude to God, is to give back my talent and all that He has given me and the experience that I have been blessed with so that I can return and bless my people in Mali, my people in my local jurisdiction, but also the people of Mali.
Everybody in their lifetime has a kindness hero. They probably have more than one over the course of a lifetime. There are plenty of people that are blessed our lives. But is there one that has maybe the most impactful that really changed the course of your life? And as a result, you became a man of God, you became a man of service, and you became a man of kindness and love. So if you want to maybe share a little bit about this person in your life.
Elia, you've said it right. There's so many people that have impacted my life. And clearly, as I said, my life is a miracle. Every aspect of my life is a miracle. I have James Arrington, who is a great man who has truly inspired me and that I work with today. There is a gentleman in Texas called John Paul DeJoria who has had a transformative impact in my life. There's a lady and a family from Colorado, Boulder, Colorado, that also gave me incredible opportunity actually to come to America here. But of all of these people, the one person I would like to talk about today is my father. Clearly, my father was not educated in the schools, but was a very wise man. He was poor, his father was poor, and the father of his father was poor. We come from a long line of poverty. He believed that the only way for him to break the cycle of poverty is to send all of his children to school. He believed in education. So he educated all of his children, boys and girls included, which was revolutionary back in time in the 60s.
And
His
just
neighbors would call him that he
Wow.
must be mad for even wanting to send his children to school because they knew and they told him, if you do so, your family will go hungry.
now,
My father's
yay,
answer,
yay.
yes,
Let me interrupt you for just 2 seconds. And I apologize for
please,
that.
please.
Throw out there that number again. How many children did your father have?
I have 22 brothers and sisters. So we are
23
23
kids.
total.
23 kids. Now think
Yes.
about that. As he keeps going, think about the task his father set to get those 23
He
kids educated.
he did. He did. Providing for all of us was not an easy task. And sending all of us to school was a drastic decision of my father. And he knew, and he was warned by our neighbors that if he sent all of his children to school, we will go hungry. My father's answer was always, my family will go hungry, but my family will not know the darkness of illiteracy. So, with this
Wow.
mindset, he sent us all to school. It was not easy on us either because we will go hungry. Sometimes we'll go to bed on empty stomach and not be able to sleep. Our mother sometimes will wake up in the middle of the night, seeing that we can't sleep, that we have pain in our stomach, will tie my stomach with a handkerchief so that it will shrink my stomach and ease the pain of hunger. But we will wake up in the morning believing in this vision of our Father, go to school, and strive to get knowledge. And that is really what had helped me break that cycle of poverty. And from my father is today from above, he sees that we have far exceed anything he could have ever expected. So I am grateful for his vision, and I will pass this along. And I thought that I cannot stay here in America. Through that, I was brought to America by the Winston family in Colorado. I got an education here at Brigham Young University. I have a master's degree in public policy. I had a really good job here in America, had a great living situation. I enjoyed the freedoms of this country, the freedom to go to the nearest hospital and get the best treatment, the freedom to send your children to the best education. But I thought that America didn't need me. I might need America, but America doesn't need me. So I chose to go back home, go to my village and establish myself there and try to bring a little America to every citizen of my village. And now my purpose is to bring these freedoms to the people of my country of Mali.
Thank you for sharing that. A couple of things that come to mind. Number one, the Winston family are great friends of ours. So I know the Winstons. I've known the Winstons for almost 30 years.
Incredible.
And they're, oh yeah, I mean, neighbors and just amazing, amazing people. As a matter of fact, the dad,
Jeff Winston
passed away very suddenly from a heart attack. He was my role model. He was like 20 years younger than me. And I always looked up to him. He's the kind of person that you say, you know, when I grow up, I want to be like him.
I want to be like Jeff. I want to be the father like he is, the husband that he had been, yes.
So I recognize what you're saying because I know it firsthand. He was like a mentor to me, like a dad, kind of like he. So that's number one. Number two, what a small world, you know, by the way, you know. And number two is, I think your dad's desire that all of his children get educated, not just the boys, but the girls too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually very forward thinking, you know, coming from back in the 60s in Mali. I think it's remarkable that he had that vision for all of his children.
Absolutely. It was forward thinking. It was revolutionary because people thought that was one of the craziest idea or even the stupidest idea because they were right, because children were the labor. If you send your kids to school, then they skip laboring in the farm. And of course, the family will go hungry. And but my father knew exactly what he was doing. Against all of the protestation of the neighbors, against all the councils, he stuck to his gun that my children, boys and girls, will get the knowledge, that they will not remain in the darkness of illiteracy, even though he himself had never been to school.
Hello, my wonderful friends. If you could step into the shoes of a kindness hero today, would you want to? I believe that most of you would, and here's an easy way to do that. Simply watch this little video clip by Kindness Worldwide, and if it resonates, stop by their website today, www.kindnessworldwide.org, and make a donation to support their wonderful mission to bring cultures of kindness to communities throughout the world. And then feel free to share it with your friends and family. Thank you for your support.
When a wallet was returned just moments after it was lost, a purpose was found. This one act of kindness inspired the formation of the nonprofit Kindness Worldwide to create a culture of kindness in communities throughout the world. Kindness Week Worldwide mobilized the entire community in York, Pennsylvania, featuring initiatives and playbook programs including blood drives, kindness cards, K-12 and college students embracing kindness, and an innovative means of community policing, kindness citations. If something so magical can happen in York, Pennsylvania, the same and other inspirations can happen anywhere and everywhere. Our Screen Scenes initiative featuring the Kindness Factor will showcase these many stories of kindness. Let's include your community among them. Kindness is the heartbeat of the world. Together, with your support, we can make all its hearts beat as one.
I love that statement. They will not remain in the darkness of illiteracy. They will not remain in the darkness of not knowing how to read or not being educated, not knowing how to lift themselves up in life. That's so inspiring to me. And the thing that I love about what you said, Yay, is the powerful example of your father. Not only, he wasn't just looking at you guys. He was looking at your children. He was looking at your children's children.
Mm-hmm.
He had a forward, he could see afar off. He was a visionary man who could see afar off. And think of the legacy, the kindness that he has extended. It's not just kindness to you. It's generational kindness. It's kindness to you, to your wife and children.
Absolutely,
Randy,
and we feel that kindness, and we want to pass that along. We strive for our children to also get an education, but we strive to have people in Mali as that work we have built so far, 50 50 schools, which is 150 classrooms in 50 villages in Mali to promote education, to making sure that boys and girls have equal access to a school building in their own village, which means that they don't have to walk 3 to 5 miles one way to get to school, to go to a middle school, because most villages have their primary school, but they don't have a middle school. So children have to walk long distance to get to the middle school. Through Empower Mali Foundation, we have built 50 schools in 50 villages. These schools are 3 classrooms, a headmaster's office, and latrine, 6 latrines for boys and girls. But not only that, Mali is one of the poorest nations. So we have also a dire need for water. Our foundation has built 76 water systems in the villages where we do boreholes and put a water tank for about 5,000 liters. And then the villages will have access to running water. That we have built 76 of those in rural areas of Mali. Some of those villages were about to relocate because of lack of water. The kindness that was extended to these people, not only by a foundation, but also supporters like the Paul Mitchell Haircare Systems founder, John Paul DeJoria. We can also talk about Matthew McConaughey, who's a producer, actor from here in America, in Texas, have contributed every month, 7 months, he would give about $100,000 every 7 months to feed the needy in the villages of Mali. We have many supporters here, foundations and individuals and companies who have been supportive of the work we do. And because of that, many villages, many families now have access to clean, potable water, which means that those villages now escape waterborne diseases. This actually helps reduce mortality in those villages. It also allows women to have more nutrient because they can do their small gardens, not only improve their diet, but also make extra revenue by selling some of the produce. So through our foundation, we have been able to, and it has been really my purpose to serve, because I do believe, and I sincerely believe, that leadership is nothing but service. To lead is to serve, is my credo. So I follow that. Today, I have been given so much. I have an incredible opportunity, having had an education, a master's degree in the United States, put me right there in the top 1% of the people of my country. The opportunities I have that has changed my life, changed my family's life, I want to extend that to millions, help the 23 million people of Mali walk out of poverty to abundance. And this is possible.
You know what's beautiful, and Randy and you both talked about this. In the good book, in the Old Testament, it says that without vision, the people perish.
Absolutely.
Your father, and it's so true. I mean, you can see it. Your father had a vision. I don't want my children to be in the darkness of illiteracy. He has that vision. He supports all of his kids to get an education. As a result of the kids getting that education and you getting that education, now you're giving back to Mali. you built all these schools so kids can have an education, and and the blessings. I mean, it's a cascade of blessings that have come out of your father's vision. I guess I got to go back to your father's vision. I don't know if you could even imagine. He may have just wanted his kids to get educated, but the blessings have touched so many lives, and like you said, no reason why they can't touch 23 million lives too. So, wow, God bless your dad, I guess. That's the
Well,
best way
thank
to
you.
say it.
Amen
Yes.
to that.
Well,
And truly, he
Amen
has
to that.
transformed our lives, and he is my single most important reference in life. Yes, many people have come around and support me, but it really started with his vision. And because of that vision, I was able to learn and be educated, be able to speak English for coming from a rural Mali. Um, truly, as I serve, Randy said, I serve as Mali's ambassador to 10 nations, including India, Bangladesh, Brunei, Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. I have seen leadership. I have rubbed shoulders with kings and prime ministers, but what I have learned is that they are all in the service of their people. The greatness they can achieve is lifting people out of need, lifting people out of poverty. And in 3 years into my 5-year term, I decided to resign from my ambassadorship to return home because I thought, of course, it's very important to be ambassador. It's very important the things you can do for your country. But I said, I really want to be with the people because there's nothing more important than the togetherness. We are in this together, building that trust that my purpose is to serve and give back, that I'm not seeking comfort, I'm not seeking resources or privileges. I am there to serve and to be with them. So I left my ambassadorship and returned back home to be with the people, to continue serving my little community, but also I ended up running for president in 2018 as a presidential candidate. I ran for president. Of course, the gentleman I ran against who had appointed me the ambassador was not happy with this, but also rigged the election. As he did that, 2 years into his second term, the people of Mali protested 6 months to demand that he resign, and which has led Mali today to a military regime, a
Right.
burgeoning democracy now has been toppled, and Mali has been run today by a military regime, which is not favorable for development of a nation like Mali. So I have been advocating and talking to the military that we need to return back to democracy, and that is today my fight in my country.
My good man, my ambassador. I hope one day we call you President Sámake. But as of right now, I hope that day comes that we can all call you President Sámake. Our time is actually up. So before we go, if you could give us like 3 pearls of wisdom for our audience, and how to live life fully and completely with love, kindness, and care for our fellow human beings, what would be your top 3 pearls of wisdom?
Well, the top one is leadership. To lead is to serve, which leads to service. As we serve, there is no greater satisfaction on this earth than giving to others, than serving others. As you serve, you get more than the people you serve. And I can testify to that. My life has personally been changed, and I testify that service is the single way to not only give, but to gain joy and happiness. There is no lasting satisfaction and happiness that you can get from anything more than service. And I believe.
All right, that's number 1. All right, let's
number
keep going.
number 2 is number 2 is one person can make a difference. We should never undermine our capacities. The Lord has given all of us enormous and endless faculties to transform not only our lives, but to inspire others and to stand up and challenge what is wrong and stand up for what is right. So we should never the proper word that I am in English is missing here.
Never underestimate our own ability.
Underestimate. That's, you know,
Yeah.
we should never underestimate ourselves. I would say I'm the only one. The only one can inspire the multitude, and change will happen only when one dares to stand up. So that I believe in that.
So that's the second one. What, you have one more?
One more would be, let me think. Education is the weapon, the weapon that can transform this world, said Nelson Mandela. I believe in the power of education. And that's one of the reasons why our foundation's primary purpose is to educate the children of Mali by building schools throughout the country. We have built so far 50 schools, 150 classrooms that is serving generations and generations of Malians. And we hope to teach them the right principles and the sense of patriotism, the sense of entrepreneurship, so that these children can become honest, principled leaders of our country tomorrow.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you for your big heart. Thank you to your dad, actually, for actually starting this whole thing, because the biggest things goes to him. And thank you for being on the show. How can our audience reach you or support your cause? That's the other thing.
Sámake.com or empowermali.org. Yeah Sámake, YEAHSAMAKE.com or empower Mali, MALI.org.
Thank you so much for being on.
You're very welcome.
Sharing your wisdom.
Throw out one quick comment. Ye today has a pillar standing behind him. He doesn't say a whole lot about her in public, but she is, because he has such great respect for her. But I know Marissa Coutinho Sámake, and that lady is a ball of fire.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the rock that I stand on, really. Thank you.
She is the fire that ignites Ye's fuse. So
absolutely.
And they're beautiful children.
I agree more? So. Thank you. Thank you, Randy, for bringing that up.
And thank you so much, Ye, for taking the time to join us today. Thank you to our audience. You know, we know that you can spend your time doing other things. We want to thank you for taking the time to listen to us, and take just a couple minutes and stop and think, what did I learn today from this amazing conversation? How is it applicable to me? And what am I going to do about it? And then make a plan and go forth and act. As we've been talking about, one man, one person can make a difference. You never know when some simple act of kindness that you do will be somebody else's miracle. Some simple act will be somebody else's major milestone. So take the time to go forth and act and do good. And remember that with kindness, everybody
wins. Everybody wins.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.